Do you know why we get defensive with our wives? Because they reveal the parts of us we're most embarrassed of.
They get so defensive when a woman calls them out. They know that their woman knows who they really are.
You are either a great dad and a great husband, or you are neither of them. And science backs that up.
So the first time I realized that the bar was pretty low for men was when I was dating this woman. This was well before I met my wife. And she had found that I bought polyurethane condoms because a week earlier she had mentioned that she was allergic to latex. And she saw these condoms and she started to tear up.
That is how you are supposed to approach relationships. I really do love listening. I really do love listening to men talk about their growth and how they become, things that they realize or whatever the case may be along the way. And it's important, it's vital. It's vital to the movement. It's vital for us as men to do this because it makes us safer people for our community. It makes us safer for people. It makes us safer people that that we live with our wives, our children, our mothers, our daughters, all that stuff. And it's necessary. I mean, the growth is necessary. We have to always be trying to become better people. Always. One of the things that I have experienced personally, even to this day, it happens. Not so much, not like it used to, but it definitely still happens. I still feel it sometimes. And one of the things that happens with me and with a lot of men that I know is men don't like being called out, right? Men don't like taking accountability, whatever. And there are a few reasons why men don't like taking accountability. But one of the main reasons why is because men, like when men are vehemently opposed to taking accountability, it's largely because they're just trying to like manipulate a woman or abuse a woman and they got caught, essentially. That's like very, very, very common. I have, and it's so crazy because it's just like a lot of men don't even, it's just second nature for men to be abusive, sadly. It's like nobody taught me how to manipulate a woman. You know what I mean? Like, how men always be like, oh, I never learned how to be a good man from my daddy. But you also didn't really learn how to be a bad one either. If you think about it, like your dad didn't tell you how to lie to a woman. Your dad didn't tell you how to manipulate a woman. Like my dad never told me that. Why does it seem like it's so easy to be harmful to women, but it's so hard to be decent to a woman? If we're playing the blame game, oh, I never got to hear a woman do that shit is crazy. Like, I don't understand that. I don't get it. I don't buy that at all. But time and time again, you hear men say that, you hear men make a ton of excuses. Also, men oftentimes, those same men love to present to the world in a different way. Men love to mask their evil doings with good deeds, right? Like I know men that you can call right now at whatever is 441, you know what I'm saying? Whatever is a rainy day in Southern California. I know some homies I can call and be like, yo, bro, I need you over here right now. I'm going through it. Da, 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 da. He'll be like, all right, bro, I'm on my way. He'll come over and we can chop it up. He'll spend the night maybe. You know what I'm saying? He can sleep on the couch, whatever. We can, whatever. I got a nigga. I could be like, bro, tomorrow I need you to come through and dig a ditch with me. He'd be like, okay, I'm coming, right? But his wife would have been his wife has been trying to get him to listen to her for 6 years. His wife has been trying to get him to fix, something in their car for 7 months, or whatever the case may be. Like it's a form of abuse. They do that to the women at home. They neglect their duties at home. That's abusive. And then, but to the world, they don't want the world to know that they're that person. So you get the best of them, right? They're coaches. on sports teams. They coach the kids. You'll never know. You'll never know, right? Well, a lot of people don't know. They're deacons in churches, they're volunteers, they do all this stuff in the world, and then they go home and don't do shit for their wife and kids. It's very common. Very, very, very common.
Do you know why we get defensive with our wives? Because they reveal the parts of us we're most embarrassed of. She can see through the facade that we give everybody else in the world. And I used to see that as a bad thing. Why won't my wife give me the same praise and affirmation I get at work, at church, and from everybody else? It would be a massive disservice to you if your wife just told you everything you wanted to hear all the time. Her letting you know about your shortcomings, your immaturities, the things you do that hurt your relationship is actually a good thing, because it gives you an opportunity to address them and grow up and mature as a man and become a husband that you're proud of. If you make it your goal to get your wife's voice to be quiet, you will continue getting defensive, minimizing and shutting her down, and you won't grow in the process. Instead, when she brings something to your attention, use it as an opportunity to grow and make your relationship something that you love and enjoy. Let her see the real you, let her call out the real you, and let your relationship thrive as you both address the things that you want to develop and mature in.
And that right there is why men don't want to be vulnerable. Exactly what he was talking about. That's why men don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to allow for that criticism. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to have to like receive that criticism from their woman. But if you listen to what he was talking about how men get so defensive. They get so defensive when a woman calls them out. They know that their woman knows who they really are. Men know a lot of like that your wife, she at least knows like a side of you. She may not even know who you really are, by the way, because even in those cases when the women call the men out, the women are just clocking the problematic behavior. But what they don't know is that man is doing it intentionally. What they don't know is that man is actively trying to harm her. She thinks he just needs like time to grow. She thinks that he just needs a lesson. You know what I'm saying? He just needs to accept the truth. And that's why women stay. That's how women end up in these toxic relationships or these relationships with toxic men, I would say, right? Because she's thinking he doesn't know any better. She gives you the benefit of the doubt and then thinks that now it's her job to be patient and allow you and give you the room to grow, right? Because then on top of that, she's seeing how you interact with the world. She sees how you put 110% into your job. She sees how you give it your all on the football field when you're coaching the kids. She sees how you help old ladies cross the street. She sees how you help your neighbors take out their garbage, and then you come in the house and you refuse to do fucking anything for her. She sees how long you talk to your friends on the phone when they're going through something with their spouses, or they're going through something with their kids, or their mothers, or whatever the case may be, or fathers or parents or whatever. They see how you got time for them, but you don't have time for her. And they go, okay, so he has a propensity to do that. But what she doesn't know is that's all performative, all the stuff you're doing for the world. And B, he is not doing that for her because he wants to harm her. He wants to control her. That's what it's all rooted in. That's the difference. That's what's going on.
But if you're a terrible husband, but you're a wonderful father, you're fine. Like if you treat your wife like she's invisible, but you still show up for your kids, you're doing your part. Like people need to chill out. I'm hoping that hook drew in some of the men who think the way that I used to. And I want to say that line of thinking is normalized in American society. That is the example that most of us men grew up with. But the truth is that's bullshit. You are either a great dad and a great husband, or you are neither of them. And science backs that up. Your children are watching the way you treat their mother. I can't overemphasize that. You cannot separate the two. You're teaching your son how to treat women, and you're showing your daughter what type of love to accept. I thought I could be a shitty husband and a wonderful father. I could not. I had to be both, or I was neither. I wasn't just failing my wife. I was failing the version of love that my children would one day seek or provide. We are the blueprint. Two of the key fundamentals and healthy outcomes in young boys and girls is for girls, their mother's happiness, and for boys, it's the way their father treated their mother. For young children, nothing screams "I'm safe" louder than a home where mom is happy because of the way dad treats her.
That's such a powerful message that I've been trying to like convey to other men and also myself, like make sure that I embody that, right? But I just also want to point out the fact that what he described again is how men are so performative because when you wonder how that happens, right? Some people would wonder like, okay, how can you be a good father and a bad husband? Let me tell you how. Because the good father part is performative. The same way that the good friend part is performative. The same way that the good coach part is performative. The good son part is performative. Like men perform all the time, even with their own kids. He don't really love that kid because if he really loved that child, he would respect that child's mother. That's how I know. That's how I know. You can say whatever you want to say. If and I mean this in general. I don't mean this in specific cases where the woman is harmful and destructive. You don't have to love some destructive, harmful person. You don't. I don't believe in unconditional love. Love is a choice that you make, and you got to continue to make it every single day, right? And at any point in time, you can choose to not love somebody, and I think that is perfectly reasonable and fair. What I'm saying is, though, is that barring a woman being abusive and being harmful to you and your kids, if she's showing up the way that she needs to show up as a mother and as a wife, and then you're turning around and you're neglecting her and you're abusing her, then you don't love the children that you guys share together. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand that. How could you hate the person that is closest to the kids like he was talking about? He's basically saying like, if you treat the mother shitty, it's going to show up in the children at some point in time, even if you're being a great dad to them, right? You're taking them out for ice cream, you're coaching the little league, you're cheering them on, you're always happy, you're always wrestling with your boys, and you're letting your girls paint your fingernails and practice makeup on you and whatever. Eventually, the way you treat their mothers will show up in the behaviors of the children. It will impact the children. You can't hide that forever. You can't hide that forever because she can't hide that forever. Even if she's trying to shield the children from your behaviors and actions, eventually the dam's going to break and they're going to feel it. And she's going to be disbonded and disconnected, or she may become abusive to the kids. But you know what I'm saying? Like it may be some transference type of shit. Like there's all types of things that happen when a man is abusive to the mother of the children and it ends up impacting the children. But just another example of how men can be so performative even with their own children. The performances don't stop with the world, right? With the outer world, the men perform in their own homes. And now for me, if you're a smart man, right? Whether you have a woman or not, this will apply. But if you don't have a woman or you're not in a strong committed relationship, right? And you want to avoid all that other stuff I was just talking about. Listen to this approach. Listen to this approach. This is how, or this is a representation of a decent man, of how a decent man moves in the world and how he goes about interacting with women, women that he's romantically involved with. This is before you got kids and all of that stuff, right? It's not about the performance. This is about the actual work, how you have to view the relationship, how you should view the woman and how you should go about interacting with her.
So the first time I realized that the bar was pretty low for men was when I was dating this woman. This was well before I met my wife. And she had found that I bought polyurethane condoms because a week earlier she had mentioned that she was allergic to latex. And she saw these condoms and she started to tear up, so thankful that I had gone out to the store and bought these just because she had mentioned this. And my thought wasn't like, oh yeah, that's really nice of me, I did such a great job. It was, is this not the bare minimum, babe? Like, do other dudes not do this for you? Like, this is common courtesy, right? Like, and that's when I kind of realized, like, oh wow, I might be playing this game against some real dummies out there. And so sure enough, I've married a woman who is very beautiful and way out of my league. And it's 100% just because I was able to listen and adjust my behavior and actions based on how people want to be treated and not how I would want to be treated. Anyway, just shout out.
That is how you are supposed to approach relationships. Not being performative, adjusting your behavior, being, so that the other person will like you. That doesn't make you performative. Adjusting it, taking notes. Okay, cool. I need to be more intentional, because you can do that if you're being more intentional, right? You can do that if you're being more intentional. Stop all that performance nonsense. Stop trying to put on for the world and no. Actually start with the person that you're closest with, your wife, your woman, whatever. Practice being intentional with her. Practice being nice. Practice listening. Practice being proactive, not reactive, right? Just little stuff like that. That's how you can avoid the performance trap. Too many men are charades. You know what I'm saying? We're not really, like men. We're not humans, not men, you know what I mean? Not like that, but we're not humans. We're like shells going out here and everybody think, oh, we're robots. Like, oh, yes, I can sign up for that. Absolutely, Mrs. Johnson. I can help with the bake sale. And, everybody's like, oh man, Bill's a great guy. Bill's a great guy. Everybody but your wife. Everybody but the person you're in the relationship with feels like that about you, And that makes it even worse, because they can see how it's like they're in a glass like case. When they watch you be great for everybody else and accept and ignore them, you've trapped them in this like glass house they can't escape from, because they can see it. They can see all the good behaviors. And they're just like sitting at the window, like sadly, running their hand down the window, watching you as you perform for everybody else. So yes, there is a cure to it. It's being intentional. It's being intentional. It's being intentional. That's how you solve that problem. Stop being performative, man. Be intentional.